Good morning. Day 4 of what it's like to live with an e-Berlingo for a week in the real world. Just going to head into work and I'll speak to you when we're there. So Thursday morning, just got to work, yada yada yada, commute, yada 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 yada, yada. Bin men this morning, as well as taking the diversion for the roadworks. So what to discuss today? So far, the e-Berlingo has not disappointed me in any way whatsoever. In fact, I've become a really big fan of it. As you know, we've got some weight in the back. It's only just shy of 65 kilos, but that's made no difference at all to the economy. So I think today we need to find out the sort of price comparison between owning this one and the diesel. How much does it cost to fill up a full tank of diesel? How much does it cost to charge this on a decent tariff at home overnight? Something like Octopus Energy, I know my old man has a deal with them where he gets very cheap energy at night, so he sets his charger to charge his car then. Or on how much does it cost just to go down the road and plug it in? How much does it cost to maintain this in comparison to a diesel vehicle? Well, I would suggest a lot less. Saying that, we've just had this service by Warner's. I don't know what they did, probably changed the pollen filter. Warner's are a main dealer, by the way. Changed the pollen filter and changed the brake fluid, and that was like 399 quid or something like that. But we've not got any of the AdBlue systems, any of the diesel particulate filters, any of the engine oils, any of that type of stuff. So I would suggest, you don't have to be a genius to realize that it's going to be cheaper, hopefully, to service an electric vehicle than it would be a diesel vehicle. But let's do some real research into it and then find out. I've also decided that at the end of each trip, I'm going to take a picture of the display so you can see the miles and the range, just so you know that I'm not pulling your peckers. I've also realized that we can do this by overlay or split screen, or I think what we'll probably go for is picture in picture, as I'm getting pretty decent on the production values. Anyway, let's do that. And then tomorrow I thought we'd take the load out and answer the really big question, which is how fast does this e-Berlingo get to 60? So I managed to find my old race logic box in the garage. It was on top of the fridge. I mean, where else would it be? And we'll see if we can get that working, find a decent road, single track road, a road where we can legally get to 60 and legally stop in a lay-by and pull out and go to 60 safely, and then we'll see what 0 to 60 times we can get out of the old girl, because obviously that's what's really going to make the buying decision. But as I say, I can't find anything that would put me off buying an e-Berlingo, especially if I was a local tradesman, a local builder, maybe working within Gloucestershire in this example, or occasionally having to do a long journey. As I say, 168 miles, was it 169 miles on a full charge? I mean, that's a fair whack, and as we know, depending on how you drive and how much voltage you're asking for, how much current you're wanting to take with various bits and pieces, you'll probably extend that a little bit as well. But hey, let's see. A lot of waffle this morning, so I do apologise, but I think we need to decide what we're going to do next and take it from there. Cheers.
Good morning. It's Alex from the Cotswold Van Centre. I've got to go to Mark Morrison's to get some essential supplies for the workforce. So I thought I'd take the e-Berlingo out this morning, give you some of my thoughts on whether you're better off buying a diesel van in the current climate or an electric van. So off we go. Let's burn some dust and eat my rubber. So here we are, we've arrived at Morrison's. Spent a bit of time this morning trying to work out what makes more financial sense in this current market. Is it to buy a diesel van or is it to buy an electric van? And I think that purely comes down to your own personal circumstances, because I can't on paper or mathematically work out which is a better option currently. So to fill this van up, it's a 53 litre tank on there. At the pump here currently today, it's 130.9 a litre. So you'd be about 69 quid to fill this up. To get a full charge, Pod Point say it's about £12 to charge this at home. If you're on an Octopus Energy tariff, you can get it from as little as 7 pence per mile, they think, on their off-peak tariff. So for the same amount of range, you'll probably be better off with electric. It's probably only going to cost you sort of 50 quid to charge it up, but then you've got to take into account the time that the vehicle is off the road, because you can't just do 600 miles in one hit in this. You've got to stop every sort of 100 odd miles and charge it up. But that, I think, is just a change in mindset. I mean, who's not going to want to stop for a coffee and charge this up at a fast charger every sort of 3 hours? Certainly with the way the modern diesel engines are now, if you're just a business that's running around locally, sort of doing 30-40 miles of stop-start driving every day, I think electric is 100% the way to go, purely because these don't have DPF filters. They have not got diesel injectors on them, which is, we're finding a lot more with these modern diesel engines that these items are failing. Even on low mileage vans, young vans, the DPF filters are getting clogged up just from short journeys. So you're not going to have any of those issues with this. Saying that, this van is still under warranty, but if you did have an issue, the only people who could really fix it would be Citreon. And saying that, if you've got a slightly older van that needs a new DPF filter, I don't think there's any mileage in trying to save a few £100 and buying a non-genuine DPF filter to get that swapped out. You have to buy a genuine one. So again, you're back to the manufacturer. I think it's down to your own personal circumstances whether you think that the electric is the way to go. But I enjoy driving this van. I think it's a great drive. On paper, if you were to go in and buy this van as a diesel, the list price on it is £21,545, and if you were to buy this electric van brand new today, it cost you £27,955. That's not to say if you didn't go into a main dealer at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, you couldn't walk out with a cracking deal on one of these. If they've got targets to hit, you could probably find that you'd get a really good deal on it. I've even delved into the second-hand market today to see if there's a difference in a comparative diesel and an electric van, and they're the same money. So again, down to your personal circumstances in which you'd prefer to buy. I'm going to go into the shop. Tom has given me the company card to just buy what we need. So I'll see you in about an hour.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
No. Yes. No.
Hi there, Tom back in the driving seat now, although Alan is with me. Hello, Alan.
Hello.
We're going down to Mercedes to pick up one of our vehicles, so just a little short trip, maybe a couple of miles each way, but it has been raining. Unfortunately, it's stopped now, so we won't be using the windscreen wipers, so there won't be that extra draw, but yeah, let's see whether that makes any difference. I doubt it will. So just on the way back from Mercedes now, after running that little errand, we're on 82 miles remaining. We've done 101 miles, so we're quite a few miles up on what it suggested we would do at the start. I've pressed the B button for, I presume it means battery. Maybe someone who knows a little bit more can comment for us. And that just gives us a little bit more regen when we take our foot off the gas. So a little bit more braking, a little bit more power being put back into the battery. It's not as harsh as the Mercedes by any means. Certainly, if you're moving, you still need to put your foot on the brake pedal as well. But let's see whether that throws any more energy back into the batteries. So that's it. Thursday done. Again, didn't really get around that much today, unfortunately. Just that trip out to Mercedes to pick up that vehicle, and Al nipping out to Morrison's, but he kindly put some work in for me on the advantages, disadvantages of a diesel Berlingo versus an e-Berlingo, and it was really interesting, wasn't it? Actually, the diesel will do 600, 650 miles on a full tank, and that tank will cost you 70 quid to fill up. to do a similar mileage in this vehicle, you probably have to charge it 3.5-4 times. It'll cost you 12 quid a time to do it. In terms of their second-hand value on a vehicle of this age and this mileage, although the electric vehicle costs more in the first place, in the second-hand market they're actually very similarly priced. So let's see. Tomorrow we'll nip out, do some 0 to 60 times. Why, I don't know. See how really using all the power available to us affects the remaining range. And let's see, interesting enough and just for fun, how fast an electric van can be. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. I'll take a picture of the mileage and the range in a second for you. So we'll close on that. Cheers, thank you, bye bye.